So just another typical day in crypto. You know, we had some kind of fake tweet or a hack or whatever the story was. I mean, these guys, we just can't get enough of it. It's so crypto, isn't it? That the SEC gets hacked and they release some kind of rubbish tweet and the market pumps, then it dumps. No one knows what's going on. Anyway, they gave us a little fake out there. Maybe it was a test. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? Who actually cares? Right now, we're going to look at some levels that we have, guys. And then today, I'm focusing a lot on ETH. We're seeing Twitter is waking up about this ETH narrative and tokens in the ETH ecosystem. So today, I'm looking at ETH. Obviously, I'm still long and strong ETH. We're looking Lido, SSV, Optimism, Frax, ENS, MATIC, Scale. And then I've got Simon hiding in the back. Maybe he's got something on Arbitrum for us on 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏. So much to talk about today, guys. Let's get right into it. And you can see here, just looking at Banter Bubbles here, today's action, you can see Frax is up, Ethereum Classic is up, we've got Arbitrum is up, we've got SNX, also an ETH play up, we've got Lido up, Maker. It's basically ETH time today. And we noticed last night, as the news came out, everything started dumping, but what started pumping immediately afterwards? It was ETH strength. It was things like Lido, Optimism, all these things. And, you know, if you've been around for the last couple of weeks, you can see I've been hinting at a potential next trade or next narrative, and maybe it's going to start playing out now. So let's see what's in the news here and see what these guys are talking about at the moment. And I mean, it's even making headlines here on CoinDesk. You know, the traders are betting on the ETH ETF next. I think we knew it was going to be like this. Then we've got guys, Twitter's lighting up. Here's a big account, the DeFi investor. He's talking about a locked up supply. It's only a matter of time until ETH Giga pumps. I mean, he's G'ing us up. We're getting all excited. So, you know, people are definitely looking at this ETH situation. We got this guy, Trading Lord. I mean, also a big account. And he's opened an $11.6 million long on ETH. So I would guess he kind of likes ETH a little bit based on this little tweet. And we've even got Republican Congressman Michael Collins buying 30K of ETH. So, I mean, even the politicians are buying Ethereum now, guys. So, I mean, it's safe to say things are definitely heating up. Then, yeah, there's a couple of comments here on Arbitrum, another ETH play. And here we got Tony the Bull as well. He's saying, is it time now for ETH? So it's pretty clear now. You know, the guys want ETH. This is the next trade. It's always been the last 4 months. It's been BTC, BTC, BTC. And immediately, you know, we sneeze a little bit and we're off to the races. Well, it looks like on Ethereum. So anyway, let's look at BTC and try and plan our way around today, because we still have to deal with this ETF news. And I mean, there is still a possibility, don't forget, that they might actually reject it or kick the can down the road. So let's not forget that. But we do have to understand, we had a bit of a practice run last night. They did pump us. They did hit that 48K that I've been talking about for a while. They sent us back down, and now we just need to look at these levels. We got to understand how's the market going to react now for the second time. If they do approve it now again tonight, officially. So we need to just look at some of these levels. We need to expect the unexpected, but also understand these hot zones. So what I want to say to you today, let's watch 44,700. Let's watch the 618 region. You can see we are hanging around here now. Okay, watching this 44,700 region. I do have a 786 play. We know BTC does like a 786 fib. So here we go, 44K, another area. And again, this is still quite a nice little juicy area for me. This 43,000, you can see we've got a bit of trend action here as well, and some horizontals. So 43K is the next area. And then, wow, we're actually going to be crying. We're going to be in tears if we go 41.7, which is down there. 41.7, that's going to hurt. And 4600, well, I mean, I have no comment there. So if they're going to send us down there, that's going to really give us some deep burn. So right now we just want to see, I would say for me, 43K, that's where I really want to hold. Don't really want to lose much more than that. And then as far as my weekly play is concerned, well, you know, they gave us a fake ETF announcement, but I'll take some credit for that. We did say 48K on the announcement and a rejection. So what did they do? They gave us a fake announcement, but they gave me, what did they give me on this chart? They gave me 47,951 on this Binance weekly chart. So we pretty much hit our 48. And you know, let's see how this next move plays out. I mean, I still think a hot zone lower down, if we really have to go there, 38 to 37K, and then you know my next area, 33K, that sort of region, and then the final nail in the coffin around about 31. So these are the big zones on the weekly areas. But right now, look, what we can see in front of us on the weekly, we've broken out of a flag and coming back, maybe going to retest the flag. So let's not get too stressed out. Let's see how they come later today with this ETF announcement. And then most importantly, for these altcoins, if we want to see things like ETH run and the ecosystem and things like that, we need to understand dominance. We need to keep our eyes on this. This is weekly, the weekly dominance chart, guys. And remember, a rejecting dominance, a red dominance chart is what we want for these altcoins to be moving, and they've started nicely. Okay, so we've seen BTC dumping a little bit today, and look at this dominance. It's nice little rejection for us. So far, so good. A nice strong red weekly candle so far on this dominance. Of course, we've got support here for dominance, so we can expect some kind of reaction there. But again, what we really want to see as alt traders, we want to lose this. We want to lose this trend. We want to just maybe come back and retest, but then we really want to just push that thing lower, and that's just going to unlock these alts. And I think if ETH is driving things, we are going to be good. So let's first things first. The last big pumper for me was Solana. Okay, so we know about that. This is the Sol ETH chart. Okay. And the last time we were looking at this, we were looking at some Sol versus ETH strength, and what happened here? It rejected in this area. It pinged all-time highs. It rejected, and right now Sol ETH is coming into a potential support region. So this is quite interesting. So we have seen a little bit of Sol weakness versus ETH at the moment, but right now it is coming into support. Is this maybe telling us that all these alts are potentially going to run a little bit? We know that people will like Solana, especially in a bullish market. They are going to climb into Sol. Is this maybe a sign that we're going to get a little bit of a bounce here on this ETH Sol ETH Sol chart? So let's keep our eyes on this one, but it is interesting. Nice little level here at the moment. And then again, ETH BTC, this is what we were looking at yesterday, and I was really looking for a move down to the 618 at this 44 level. So it looks like they have been front running a little bit with this news. You can see we did break a new low, and to me it looked like we were going to come and visit this area quite quickly. I was hoping on the news we were actually going to get that ping down there, which was going to trigger the ETH trade, but then they gave us the fake news, and everything seemed to reverse a little bit early. So still eyes on this guy. Again, not too bullish until we have broken this 200-week and 200-day MA. You can see this over here. This is a massive, massive area. 200-week MA, 200-day MA. Once we blow through that, we know that this is going to give us mega support here on this trend and on these MAs, and then it's all systems go. I think we can really start pushing their altcoins and ETH once we just blow through that area. So again, critical area, get this on your charts. This is the weekly ETH versus BTC, big resistance ahead, but if we blow through that, oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be proper fun, I can tell you that much. Okay, let's see who is sitting here in the chats. Jonathan says bonk bounced nicely. Yes, I've exited my bonk, guys. We smashed that bonk trade. I exited at the top of that last move. Well, not the perfect top, obviously we can never get the top perfect, but yeah, nice little trade there on bonk. That was a fun one. Let's see, BB wants to know about shrapnel. Luba, the bear, look at this bear. Luba is shorting Lido. Luba, I'm talking about Lido today, and here you are trying to short Lido. Dash says bonk is dumping now. Let's see, Michaela's here, Val is here, Link moving nicely. Yes, that Link trade we gave yesterday on Sniper Club is going well. We did give another trade today. I gave an ETH narrative trade, which I'm going to show you guys. We've got Marion saying ETF dump. Look, it's going to be a tricky one. We saw a little meltdown this afternoon. Well, afternoon for me, it's morning for you guys in the States, but we had a little bit of a meltdown while you were sleeping, and a little bit of squeaky bum time, but we did see some of these alts hold their areas once again. And the first one we're going to see that held so nicely was Ethereum. I just want to give you a zoomed in view. Look at this. This is ETH on the 2 hour. So ETH has been looking bullish today. I did drop a little chart of ETH in the Sniper Club under my scalper trade setups, and you can see it was looking decent. This is ETH on the 2 hour, and we had that little meltdown earlier. And what did they do? They just came and they pinged this little 382 for us. But overall, a decent reaction on a lot of these alts once again, and again pulling nicely with this dominance that's dropping so well. So traders, short-term traders on ETH, if you are not currently long ETH, what I can give you now is a support region that you're going to watch. So this is ETH, guys, on the 2 hour. You want to be watching 2350. That is your first line of support. And then your next area is 2,300. This is ETH scalpers. Okay, I'm going to zoom out for you spot buyers and longer term players shortly. But the ETH scalpers, your current support areas, if you're trying to grab an entry on ETH, if you believe that things are going to be bullish. So let's say they come with the news later and they try and wick us down a little bit, but the market does turn bullish. These are areas as scalpers you want to be looking at grabbing. So 2350 and 2300 look like two hot zones for me. For any ETH pullbacks, you can see they have given us one already, and we did ping the 382, maybe pushed a little bit through, but that was a nice little recovery bounce there, and overall looking okay. And then bigger picture ETH, guys, this is the 3-day, and the bigger picture traders, bigger guys, you're looking at spot traders 2,100. That is your first main area. If you get some kind of mega flush out here on the market, what you want to do is have limit orders set at areas like this. So 2,100, that's a hot zone. And then your next hot zone again is this 1880 level. Down here, we've got the 200-day MA, we've got the 200-week, we've got a shit ton of things happening down there. So if there is some mega flush out here, 1880 and then 2,100, those are your areas. I mean, Simon was calling them stink bids earlier. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stink bid levels we can give you on a lot of these tokens. You never know if they do come with some kind of flush. Okay, let's see who else is here. PJ Fox, what's happening? Cool. Who else is here? Sean McCarthy, squeaky bum time. He likes that phrase, squeaky bum time. Guys, you know that feeling when you're sweating in your trades, you see these things coming down, you start moving in your chair. You know that feeling. That's what I'm talking about, squeaky bum time. Okay, let's go. Let's look at Lido. This is the first one we needed to talk about because we've had multiple opportunities to grab this Lido. And the other day we were talking this 382 region. This was a hot zone for us for Lido. They came down. You got a short little sniff at this thing, and off they sent it. So Lido, there's big things coming here, and what we need to do is just try and identify where we can take advantage of some kind of pullback. Now, this is the daily, okay? So these are big moves and things like that. And when we super bullish, what we generally try and look for is a 236 pullback. And you can see I've got this 236 pullback here on Lido right now that ties in with this horizontal area beautifully. So your main line of support that I would look at for Lido, 3.3. So Lido traders, before we were looking at 2.9, we were looking at 2.6. We've now broken this level now. And for me, 3.3 is your flush out area. That's it's a big move down now. So 3.3 solid zone. And then again, what we can do is you can look for some less, it's not as strong, but you can look for these horizontals. You can see on the daily, we've got a little cluster here. Okay, so right now, your next line of support, Lido traders, 3.6. So your levels, 3.6, 3.3, and then lower down, you've got 2.9. So these are these big areas for, I see Sheldon's in the house. I wonder if it's the real Sheldon. He says he got back from Thailand. Sheldon, jump in the back, bro. Come and hang with us. Just jump into StreamYard there. Okay, so supports I'm watching again, just to confirm, Lido 3.6. That's a big zone. That's below today's daily. And yeah, Luba's quite excited here. Sheldon's in the chat, hyping us up. Okay, let's look at the next one. SSV, we did catch this one yesterday. And I mean, look at this thing. It's absolute ripper. So yesterday we were talking about buying this guy on the 618. And here we go. So SSV looking pretty decent. Now, guys, let me actually know in the chats. Did anybody take this SSV that we were looking at yesterday? It was looking quite juicy on the 618. Come, let me know. Let's see. Kishore says, let's hunt some shit coins. This is what we're here for. This is what we do, guys. This is what we do. Okay, so SSV, big ETH play, guys. This is ETH narrative play. Yeah, best entry was when you were feeling bearish yesterday. We were sitting on the 618, so there was your opportunity. Hopefully somebody took advantage of that. Let's zoom out a little bit here. You want to try and understand where this thing can go. And again, they kind of just dropped it on the exchange, and look what they did to this thing. It just dropped like an absolute stone. So it's quite tricky now to pick the levels for this guy. But what we can do is highlight certain areas here. So SSV on the weekly, that is what we're looking at. Okay, so right now it is pushing into a weekly resistance, but what we can see quite clearly is once we break through this area, we are going to get a nice little pop here, and things are looking okay then for SSV with an upside target around about 40. So that is my next potential target here, SSV. So let's just dial in one more time. Okay, and you can see what needs to happen here. We just want to crack this high. Maybe a little retest again. We just want to crack this area, a little retest here. That's going to hopefully tie in with a 382, one of those things, and then maybe it's going to push up for us to round about this 40 region. Okay, so that is what we're going to look for. Again, we can't pick the high of this move. So let's say once that move ends and it starts pulling back, you're going to pull your 382 in, and you're going to try and tie in where you're going to get that support buy. And for the traders out there, that's going to give you your second entry on this SSV. Okay, next one is Optimism. And Optimism on the weekly, again, a massive mover, ETH ecosystem, big play here. If you're an ETH narrative fan, this is where you want to be. And again, broken a nice weekly area. They've come back and tested it multiple times. So what I can give for the spot traders here, the guys that are looking at bigger picture things and weeklies, I can give you massive support here at 3 for Optimism. This is a huge area for 3, and then an upside target. We are chasing all-time highs, obviously. So upside target, I've had to use a little bit of science here. I've got the 1.618 fib extension loaded in here, and that is about 4.7. So that is what we're looking at now for Optimism. So upside target 4.7, major support 3, and I'm talking a major size 382 pull. I'm talking a weekly horizontal as well. And now I've got something for the traders in there. This was a trade we gave on Sniper Club earlier today. Again, similar to that link setup that we gave you guys yesterday, and a typical retest play. So remember, our best entries are always the ones where we're feeling the most bearish, and these are the ones that we pick up in areas like this when we're melting down and we're hating crypto and we're hating life. And then our second best entries are when we break these trends and we come back and we get these retests. And Optimism was just looking too good to be true here with this little retest today on the 8 hour. So it made sense. A little trade given on Sniper Club, and the entry is anywhere in this box. So we are running a little bit here. So, but don't forget this ETF announcement later today. We might get some volatility. So put your alarms on in this entry box for the 8 hour candle traders. You want to get something here, anything from about 3.6 down to about 3.4 could be a potential hot zone. And the Sniper Club guys, well, they got 2 stop loss options and they got 2 buy areas depending on the volatility. So if we do get a mini flush out, I'd look for something along those lines. If things are a little bit darker and they really want to come for us, you're looking at buys round about this 3.3 region on Optimism. Okay, so keep that one in your books there. And then upside targets 4.12 and 4.6. That is our current target for Optimism. But obviously, if things really take off with these altcoins, it's going to go a lot bigger than that. So yeah, let's see how we are when we hit this TP2. Let's see how things are going. Maybe you want to keep something in the tank if it is looking good. Kishore says Litecoin is going to rip. Jeez, we haven't looked at Litecoin in a long time. Okay, Dom's looking for a link update, guys. Okay, let's just finish these ETH plays, and then I'm going to update you on link. And then we're going to get stuck into all of your charts. And also, we've got Simon in the back. He's talking, I think he's talking Arbitrum. Is that a thumbs up? Looks like a thumbs up from Simon. Okay, let's look at Frax. Again, another nice ETH play. This is Frax on the weekly, and you can see where we are here. Upside target, I'm looking at about 9.8. But what's important for me right now is that Frax has come back and it's reclaimed this horizontal, this 382. It's reclaimed this weekly zone as well. So this for me on the weekly picture, I'm looking at 8 right now as your major support for Frax. And then we have also broken the 50-day MA, so 8.36. That's another nice potential support area here for Frax. And let's dial in one more time Look at the 8-hour situation. And again, we've got a typical trend break play here for Frax. And you can see this 50-day MA has been broken very nicely. And it's tying in with some short-term 382 and horizontal support. So for me, for the 8-hour traders, this is what you're looking at. Call it 8.2 is a nice, juicy little support area. If we get a little pullback into there, that looks like a trade opportunity for me. And then we do have our backup zone here, the 618. This is at 7.8. So this is our next potential flush out zone. If they do come for us a little bit harder, that's where we're going to be looking at, around about 7.8. And then don't forget, we do have horizontal support here and the 100-day MA holding up the rear a little bit lower down at the 7.3 region. So these are your key supports for the 8-hour guys. These are your key potential flush out areas as well. Let's just say they release this news and there's a little bit of up down and they want to do some flushing. Just make sure you understand your key levels here as to where you can grab these guys. Obviously, if you are long-term bullish on this ETH narrative. Ernest is loving the music. Okay, well, that's great. I think some guys were saying yesterday was a little bit loud, so I turned it down a little bit there. So hopefully then everybody is happy. And I was laughing. I mean, the comments always, if you guys watch this video on 2x after the live, I mean, this music can be a little bit stressful. It comes through quite fast. So yeah, it is quite a laugh if you're watching it on 2x. But we like it, it keeps us relaxed while we're doing this thing. Let's see what else. 𝗦𝗓𝗘𝗧 here. Johnny John says, bring the bull. Well, I've got the bull for you. Here it is. I hope that's bullish enough. I'm feeling bullish on this current situation. Okay, let's look at 𝗬𝗓𝗡, another ETH play. Okay, and trend pressure for 𝗬𝗓𝗡. And, we saw some trend pressure the other day on Sol. We saw some trend pressure on a lot of alts. And if you play it a little bit, you're just a little bit patient with this, you should get your results. So this is what we're watching right now. What we can see in front of us on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. This is 𝗬𝗓𝗡 on the 8-hour. What we can see is we've got 50-day MA and horizontal resistance. We've tried to test it once today. They got rejected, as you can see. But we're pushing again here. And what I like about this is once we crack through the second time, I'm expecting any retest here down to the 50-day MA and horizontal to hold. And that's going to give us a proper entry here on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. And then we can potentially turn nice and bullish. And then we're going to be looking for 𝗬𝗓𝗡. We're going to be looking at things like 108. We're going to be looking at things like 130. So what I would suggest here, watch this area. Let's see if we can get 𝗬𝗓𝗡 to pop through the zone. We just want it to break through. Let the retest is going to be key for us. Let it pull back onto that 50-day MA. So we're looking for longs on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. Anything around about 100 down to 101, 100 is a support region we want to watch now for 𝗬𝗓𝗡. So we want it to pop. Let it just get some kind of support in that region, and then we can get a little bit more bullish on it. So let's see how we go with this trend break. Okay, let's see who else we got here. Let's see. ANP Vlogs wants to say. Carlos says, ETF cancelled for April. Sheesh. I don't know, bro. I think we'd see that in the candles. I think we'd see it live. I think the candles will be melting us out here. Oh, let's not forget. Simon's shaking his finger. He's saying that's not true. Let's not forget 𝗦𝗓𝗧. Okay. Let's do 𝗦𝗓𝗧 quickly. I actually forgot to add this for you guys. Remember, this is Vitalik's mom. Okay, she's a special lady apparently. She's got her own little project. And when I had Kyle here, Kyle Chassis on the show, we were talking about this 𝗦𝗓𝗧, and we got this major move. We got 153% move on this 𝗦𝗓𝗧, but there could be some more in the tank here. And I'll tell you why. This thing seems to be accumulating nicely in this region. And it could be another move coming. And I mean, if this thing turns proper bullish, our next area that we're looking at this 𝗦𝗓𝗧 is round about 156 to 165. So that is our next one. So remember, we've had our first move. We had a 150% move once we spoke about that one. Is there potentially another 100% move coming here for 𝗦𝗓𝗧? So what I would suggest here, again, you can see we've got some weekly support at 71. This is a nice little area, and really what we're looking for here is just some kind of consolidation. Let's see how this plays out. We can see maybe a little bit of up down here on this flag. Are we going to dial in now? But the bullish vibe, obviously a little bit of consolidation, then we want to break out of that and we want to send it higher. So let's dial in again on the daily. and you can see what they're doing here. So a nice little cluster here, consolidation, easy one to track here, guys. You want to just track, you can basically track this range. It's quite simple, actually. You can just look for that. And, you know, your options here, you want to look for buys. Any pools lower down, you want to look for buys down in this region, 74, that sort of area, you can look for buys. So anytime they come down here, and then again, we might have an opportunity like this where they push us up, and then we're going to be looking for this retest buy, and then we're going to send that to those upper levels that we're talking about. So again, nice little tight range, could be a great opportunity just to accumulate any moves lower. Yeah, again, once we break that range, we can add on, and we can really send this thing. But what I must caution you about, look at this candle here. Okay, so they can take this candle out quite quickly if they decide to send this thing lower. Okay, so trust your levels, number one, but know your levels. And anything down to around 71 is going to be a support area. If you start getting candle closes under this area, then you possibly want to be jumping out, and then you're looking at things like this 50-day MA and horizontal here at the 44 level. So just understand, if we lose the range to the downside, let's see where they close those candles, but then 44 does open up as a possibility. Okay, all new says Lido, please. We've just covered Lido, so just yeah, if you haven't looked there, maybe just rewind or just go forward a little bit, and you should see it there. Carlos says Doge is going to explode soon, but Carlos also said the ETF was cancelled. So I don't know, Carlos, can you decide what you're calling here, bro? Okay, let's go MATIC. This is another ETH play, and again, MATIC was looking a little bit aggressive today, and might finally give us something. So this is MATIC on the 4-hour that I've been watching, and you can see we've got a little mini trend here, and looking a little bit bullish. We had that little pullback earlier. They came and they pinged us on the 200-week MA, and right now you can see this on a lot of these altcoins. They are pushing into this 50-day MA type resistance area. You saw it on a couple of others, and what we want to really see with MATIC now is just this. We just want to break this resistance. We can reject at that little area, get a little retest, and then we think we are going to be on our way for MATIC right now. So if you want to play this, you can start nibbling at a position here on MATIC, and you know, support areas you want to watch would possibly be the pullback that we had today. So what I would suggest here, support for you on MATIC. If you want to play in this MATIC game here, you want to look under the 200-week MA or under today's candle, so 0.8. So you get a close below that 0.8. Maybe things are turning a little bit more bearish, but right now, look, the signs are here. A little inverse head and shoulders perhaps brewing here, maybe a little trend break, and then our target. It's an easy little move here. We're looking at this horizontal tied in with trend, and that's around 94. So that is our first little move on MATIC that we're looking at, if it's going to play out. So a little, call it a little 12% scalp, and then much bigger things for MATIC. If we can start breaking this this bigger trend here on MATIC, then things we turn more aggressive, and then we can really start climbing in there. So right now for MATIC, possibly little trend break here, little scalp coming from MATIC, 12% move that might be on the table. G says Doge is dead. Never say something is dead in crypto, guys. These things rise from the dead. Okay, I'm going to show you this Doge chart. In fact, Simon, will you Lux Algo this Doge chart? Because I was looking at Lux Algo on Doge earlier, and there might be a reversal coming on Doge. So yeah, don't say Doge is dead. Don't say Doge is dead. Okay, so yeah, guys, MATIC's looking hot. 10% upside potentially. Once you get that 50-day MA as support, then you know it's on. So right now we are pushing resistance again. So if you're longing into resistance, 50-day MA. Once we break that and that becomes our support, then things become a little bit easier for us at around about 84. That's sort of an area you want to be holding as support. Says, oh, my chat's not working. Okay, there we go. Don't ask. Says Dylan, what's his name? That's his name. What's going on here, guys? What's going on? Okay, next one I've got for you is Scale. You guys might remember, those who've been watching me long enough, we did call the Scale setup quite a while ago. And yeah, I mean, I think we called it, we were down here. We called it at around 0.03. It's now broken another level here, weeklies, and it's on its way. It's really pushing upside here. So for those of you that are still in Scale, well, good play, number one. Well done for still holding. Our upside here is 0.11. So that thing is absolutely flying right now, but I can't give you new entries on the weekly other than tell you where we are with support. So, you know, this horse is really bolted here on scale. So your support 0.073. That is where you need to be, support. You can see we've got nice weeklies giving us something there, and we've got a nice 382 pull for us. So decent looking support on scale. Upside here 0.11. That's the most obvious area we're going to go to. And again, the scalpers out there, you can see if you want to trade strength, these are the type of tokens you want to be dialing in on, and really looking into it and looking for potential entries. So, you know, for those of you asking how do you go about that, well, again, there's probably a mix here of degen traders and spot traders in the area, but how do you find entries once something is bolted? Well, a pretty simple system I use here, and I like to look at horizontals, I like to look at fibs, I look for tie-ins, and I look for pullback areas. So let's see what we can get here. So the first thing I would do, this is the 1 hour. So let's say we're looking for a scalp on SKL, and we're looking for potential pullback areas. I would pull a fib from the low to the high. Then I would look for some tie-in areas. I want to see where we can get some kind of confluence, where we can get solid zones, where we'll get solid reactions. So one of the areas that I like here is the 618 and horizontal. So 0.079. That's a nice little hot zone. And then not as sexy here for me. I don't have much confluence here in this area, but the 382 is something we need to take note of. So 0.084. So traders, you're looking for something like this. Scalp traders, you're looking for something along these lines. If we do get these pullbacks into these zones, that is kind of the type of move you are looking for, especially if this thing is going to remain bullish. Then you'd expect it to carry on bouncing off these types of areas, and then you can trade it to these higher levels at this 0.11. So that is the potential plan here. So again, pullback for me scales 0.084 and 0.0795. So these are two little hot pullback zones. So if they give us a little flush out, you might get some longs there. And then your major support areas, again, you can see they gave us a nice little double bottom. I mean, this is classic crypto, isn't it? Little double bottom play there on an altcoin, and anything closing under 0.069 would indicate that things are potentially now more bearish on scale, and it's going to be reversing. So anything under that 0.0695 region. Okay, Jason says he's still in the link long. We're going to cover that link long shortly. Yonko says, don't over leverage. Gary Gensler is playing dirty games. Yeah, there's guys. I mean, the more I think about this, the more deliberate that move must have been. I mean, that tweet, it's too obvious, isn't it? They wanted to just test the market and see how we were going to react there. I see Paolo likes render. Okay, what about ENS, guys? Here's a banger for you. This thing is taken off. Simon, shitcoin extraordinaire. Let's get him in here. And I know I call him shitcoin extraordinaire, but fuck me, this guy can find some gems. This guy can find projects. Look at
the new name.
ENS. Do you know about this?
I've got this charted for you, actually.
You've got this charted for me. Okay.
Show you.
Yeah, so look, we've missed this initial break. This is the 8 hour. Okay, so while we've been talking, this thing has been taking off. Just fundamentally, do you know anything about this thing? Any comments here?
I remember when it came out, the Ethereum naming service, it was all singing, all dancing way of naming these new domains, and it went to hell. And you know what? I got in on the initial offering as well, which was really frustrating. It was on Binance, it was launched, and it went to hell. And I think I've still got them.
Okay. What happens when people are interested in ETH? They buy ETH things. Okay. Here's ENS, ETH project. Okay. What I can give you, we've got an 8 hour trend break, as you can see. Okay, we've got a 4 hour trend break. This thing is firing. Okay, we are breaking a new high, so this might tell us that we could get a potential entry. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to just look at this horizontal. Okay, you can see we are blowing through. Is this all-time high? No, it's not all-time high.
No, it's not. No, it's been much higher.
Okay,
yeah.
So what you can see on the weekly, first things first, what you can see on the weekly is we are pushing into a weekly resistance area. Okay, so this is quite clear. Okay, that is nice. So what does this tell us? This tells us once we blow through this area, we're going to have a nice support base to work from. And I think then this thing's going to get legs here. So I'm looking for support on this weekly chart right now. We want to find support around about 16.4 down to about 16. We want to see support hold there. First upside target is 18. And then we're going to look at these highs here at 19, call it 19.9. So this is our initial move that we're looking at. But remember, if the guys are piling into ETH, they've neglected these things for so long, okay? And, you know, there are some big potential moves coming, and then you can dial in like we're doing now, and you can see the bigger picture here, okay? And what this is telling me here, if this thing's going to stay bullish, we're looking for something along these lines, okay? That would kind of make sense to me. So we've missed the first bite, okay? There would have been fibs and all sorts of things here. We've missed the next one, the break of trend, the retest, okay? Perfect little retest there. There would have been nice fibs over there. What is our next option? The next option is we need to find confluence between fibs and some support regions, just to get some kind of tie in here and see how we can play this thing. So let's take a look here. Okay, I do have a couple of touches here on this 382. Okay, so now we've dialed in, guys. Remember, 4 hours, slightly different game. This is more, you know, we're in the scalper zones here. We're trading now. Okay, 15. Okay, it's 382 and horizontal support for any quick pullbacks. And then lower down if they really come for us, 13.9. Okay, but we can see what's going on here on smaller picture. Okay, so zoomed in. Okay, this is a nice little area. We are cracking this area, so we like that. And right now you can see this is a weekly, massive weekly resistance zone. Okay, if we can crack this weekly resistance, then we should have some fun there. Maruk says there's a golden cross on Rune. Interesting. Okay, finally. Look, a golden cross often gives us a dump. But then afterward, long term, what happens? You know, it's an indication. It's a lagging indicator, right? But definitely gives us something. Okay, so watch ENS here, guys. Big weekly area, big fight on our hands here. But if we start cracking that and consolidating up above this area, then I think we are good to go.
I can show you something on the daily for ENS if you like.
Give me.
Do you want to bring me up?
Yeah, I'm adding your screen.
Cool. Okay, so I've actually taken the liberty of marking out the next 4 levels. These are previous points of resistance. Obviously, we're actually getting pretty close to this 18 level. Basically, what's kind of caught my eye, even though a lot of these indicators are quite high, you know how they've got a tendency to basically hang around, you know, like the stochastic RSI, it can stay in the 70-100 zone for like weeks sometimes. One of the things that's caught my eye is even though the RSI is pretty high, we've got a VWAP that's facing up. Cash flow is obviously positive. We've got RSIs here, which have just given us a green spot. We've actually got a long signal, which is printed on 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. So if we kind of just take it in just a little bit and just ignore the points above where we're going to take profit, this is actually looking like that this could run. Now, what makes most sense to me is exactly what you just said, getting a push and then finding a support level somewhere in this region here. And then what I'd expect to see is the next leg, and I'd like to start taking out some of these levels. I think ENS is probably going to be a reason. I mean, look where we've come from. Obviously, it's been, you know, we're a long way down. Obviously, we're a long way down. And unfortunately, I was in here, which is a real shame, but it is what it is.
You bought the top. It's nice.
I didn't buy the top. I got an IDO drop via Binance.
You were handed the top.
yeah, exactly. But it wouldn't surprise me, certainly, to take out these areas here reasonably quite soon. If we get some bullish news later on, somebody said that it's been delayed for 3 months. I've been scouring Twitter for the last hour while we've been live. There's a lot of things that are implying that it's going to happen today, even though there's been a lot of crap going on. But
anything's going to happen. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But we should take this out. We should take these areas out. I would hope reasonably quite quickly. We'll find an area of support here. We'll give these guys a chance to reset down here, and then we'll make our move. And I'd like to see that happen. It looks quite possible.
Yeah. Big weekly area. Guys, if you like 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, okay, there is a link in the description. They are offering a special at the moment. So there is a link in the description. You can see we use 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 for confluence on a lot of our trades. And Simon, who's an indicator expert, actually just trades off what 𝗪𝗚𝗚𝗚 gives him. He doesn't even need the other stuff. So if that is up your alley there, you can grab a link in the description. Okay, let's go. So we've covered a lot of ETH narratives. I think there's one more we need to look at for this ETH narrative. Arbitrum.
I've got that. Do you want me to show that one?
In fact, there's two more. Arbitrum and Curve.
I've got, you asked me about Doge. I've got Arbitrum. I have brought up Optimism as well, which is looking like it's going to smash through this flag, but that's... Do you want to do Arbitrum first?
Let's Arbitrum quickly.
Okay, so I mean, Arbitrum's quite a simple one, really. 𝗪𝗚𝗚𝗚 has given us a buy. This was actually earlier on today. No, it was yesterday. So obviously this is playing out just a little bit. But what we've seen is we've actually seen the stochastic come down and reset, which is nice. It's facing up again. We obviously had a trend line which we were respecting. We pushed out. What I'd like to see is some sort of retest maybe before the next push. But the thing is, this stochastic's already moving. We've already got green dots popping up everywhere. So it's possible that you should never short a bullish market, but when sometimes you want to go long, it runs away with you because it's just too damn bullish for you to get your entry around sort of the retest. So we might not get this. We might actually just continue with this, and it makes sense for this
one, because we saw when that market was so bullish a few months ago, it actually broke 𝗪𝗚𝗚𝗚. 𝗪𝗚𝗚𝗚 couldn't deal with how this market was pumping. So again, not saying that this time it's going to happen, but it is interesting to note that stock reset while the price was going up. So that price moving up, consolidating, but that stock resetting, that's quite interesting.
Definitely.
Actually, so look, again guys, safest entries if you're trading, you need to buy these pullbacks, you need to buy these areas onto solid support zones and whatever. And if you can't find solid areas, okay, then rather just look for another one. Look for another setup. Okay, it's risky if you aren't buying. I mean, if you're trying to buy and you're not buying solid areas, it's tricky. We know these altcoins respect these fibs, they respect these horizontals. So try and stick to the ones that are doing that for you, and try not to ape into ones where they've moved a little bit away from their support zones and pullback areas, because it just increases your stop risk.
Yeah, the 4 hours giving a slightly better look at what we just said. This could potentially happen because you've got a reset that's due on the 4 hour. So it might happen. You might get that. We'll watch and see.
Yeah, again, and if you're buying pullbacks, guys, remember, tonight there's news. We expect volatility. So you might get an opportunity to buy off a nice support zone. So just mark these areas on your charts, and you should get that. Okay, what do you got here?
Optimism.
So Optimism, we gave that long today in Sniper Club. So what are we looking at here?
So just to really back up what we gave earlier, there was the long signal. We've had these nice green candles. Obviously, this is the 8 hour, so we were giving it somewhere here. We've had a push up further. I think we're probably, hopefully, going to smash our way out of this sort of descending channel stroke, I suppose, bullish flag. Tap this order block maybe, find some sort of support perhaps on this line, and then make our next move. Again, this is theoretical until the news comes out later, but I'm pretty bullish on Optimism, the same as Arbitrum.
Yeah, so second break of trend. So we had our first one earlier today, and then next one teeing up here. And then you can see that order block there, little rejection, retest, and then we go. Okay, nice.
And who said Dogecoin was dead? Who was that?
Yeah, somebody said Doge was dead. Come pull this Doge up. It looks like a reversal's coming in.
Look at this. We're on a 618 right now. Look at that. We couldn't be more on a 618 if we tried.
Look at this oscillator of yours here. It's,
man. So we've got two signals here. The VWAP is positive. Cash flow is looking a little bit dicey at the minute, but that can change in a heartbeat. So the thing for me is there is a short here that's playing out as we speak. What I'd like to see is at least 1x appear. If we just run back a little bit, at the minute on Dogecoin, you may not get the X. You get the short, you get no X. You get the long, you get the short, you get no X. You get the long. So what might just happen is we might just bounce now off this 618 and make our move. It's definitely not dead.
Never say Doge is dead, guys. And old Uncle Elon can just come at any point in time. If he feels like he wants some extra cash, he just pump it.
You can make your way into this ribbon and just go to the moon.
Okay, so that ribbon, what's at that ribbon? You got a 786. I think you got a 200-day down there. What do you have down there at that ribbon?
So the 786 is actually down at 6.7 or 0.067. I don't think you'll see it quite as deep as that. You might do, but I think we're going to get a 618 bounce here. We've already wicked into this like 4 times. I imagine if I turn on the OBs, hang on, yeah, look, there you go. This is why we've wicked. Let me just turn everything else off so you can see what's going on real quick. Hang on, that one, and let's get rid of the 786. There you go. Look at that, straight into the order block. We've tapped it multiple times. There is a possibility we'll mitigate it and we'll make our way down to the next one where there's another 23%, but there's nothing below here. 5% is minimal. All of the orders are going to be above. So the 786 might make sense, but there's no reason why we don't bounce off this order block.
Okay, so there you have it, guys. You got order block protection there. You got 618. You got well, we're still waiting for the X. Steven wants to know what the X means. The X means that trend is getting tired. A possible reversal is coming. So we call it TP. So for example, you had that short print there that you can see, and then once it prints an X for us, that would be a TP indication. But also for those looking for longs, when you see that first X, you want to be tying up that first X with some solid support zones. And that's where you start sort of building your positions on support zones in those areas where you are getting those X's. Okay, let's get a update.
The X doesn't always come. Just to let you know, the X doesn't always come. Yeah, you have to look back on these coins, see if they've given you X's previously. We had one, but apart from that, the previous 3 trades gave no X's at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
but look, Doge in a good support area, plus order blocks, plus fibs, plus moving averages, balance of probabilities that start telling us that there's a potential reversal coming. Okay, guys, let's go. Let's just update this link chart. This is the trade we gave on 𝗙𝗪𝗏, and I spoke to you guys about it yesterday. This is This is link 4 hour, and what we're looking at here is another 382 support bounce for Link. So Link was pulling back today quite hard. There was a lot of pressure there, and they came back and they bounced us once again off this 382 region. So this trade is still in play. And again, you have options now. If you took the two buys that we gave yesterday, we had the 382 buy, and then I had a 618 buy that I offered in 𝗙𝗪𝗏. There were 2 buys for this potential trade. If you got both of these buys, the 382 and the 618, the average entry should be around about, say, 13.5, that sort of region, and would probably be just about where your stop loss is. So what you can do now is, if you want to de-risk on this Link trade, you can raise your stop to under these 2 candles. You can see where we had this flush out. You can see how they bought this candle up. Potentially you could raise your stop and de-risk to anything under, say, 13.55. So if you get a candle close under 13.55, you can put your stop there, or you can exit. That should help you. That pretty much de-risks that trade completely. And then the DGen guys out there, you can leave the original stop in play if you want. And, you can cater for, it's obviously risky because we don't know what type of move we're going to get tonight with the news. But, it is possible if they come and flush you on some of these altcoins, they're going to ping a couple of interesting areas. And, they might come and ping the 618 one more time at 13.26. Look, these are your options. Again, for me, I'm in this Link long, and I'm leaving my stop where it is here under this 13.18 region. I'm just leaving it there just in case they ping that 618. So that is how I'm playing it personally.
Did you see my message there just now? Who just aped optimism?
Yeah, there it goes.
It's just punched through my line as we were talking. It's like someone aped it while we were talking, didn't they?
Look, let's see how it plays out. But again, we gave short-term targets on optimism. We weren't trying to be too optimistic, but we got 4.1 and 4.6. Those are these targets. But we'll see if this thing turns bullish. We'll see how we go. At TP2, we can always take that TP away and let it run. So let's see how it goes. SV Trader says ETF approved. I don't know. Is that why we've just had a pump? Let's look at BTC quickly.
Let me have a look. Oh, hello. Yeah.
Well, BTC doesn't care.
Wow.
Okay, well, BTC doesn't seem to care because it dealt with this news yesterday. Okay, so
the Van the 𝗦𝗡𝗡𝗧 application. Yeah, it's been. If you want to bring my screen up, I've got the letter on the screen. Wow, look at that.
Okay, so wow,
okay.
guys. Okay,
look
so
at that, guys.
Live
as
you were, you know, we've been waiting for this for how many months, and here it is, and BTC's flat.
It has received and approved the 𝗦𝗡𝗡𝗧 application to list. Wow.
Okay. Well, there we go, guys. Flat BTC. Okay. So we're not even getting a sell-off. We're not getting a pump. What are these guys doing to that?
Let's hope that this isn't another hack.
No, man. This is bad. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we got dominance dropping on the weekly. Let's dial into dominance. Again, we want to see how the alts are dealing with this news. Okay. I mean, there's nothing happening here other than dominance dropping a bit. Okay.
Nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. That's what it is.
Okay, so there we go. Dominance is coming down. Okay, BTC is flat. We know what happens when dominance comes down. Alts like to pump. Let's look at ETH. ETH is pushing now. Woo. Okay, so ETH is looking good.
Here we go. Come on, Bitcoin, do it. It's done nothing yet, but it looked like it was going to move.
Literally,
it's not.
Can you poke it with a stick?
Yeah,
okay,
hang
so
on.
watch this dominance. This is what we want to see. Okay. Now remember, guys, if this dominance is dropping and things like DOGE is sitting on a 618, well, you know what happens next. Okay, Frax is moving. Let's see. Link's flat.
The Fidelity ones, yeah, they're. I think they're working through them now. The Fidelity one's just been approved as well, assuming it's not another hack. This is why prices are moving. This is why it's not moving.
BTC with this news. Okay, so I mean, we can just hang around and watch for a little bit. But, I mean, this is the most disappointing news release I've ever seen in my life.
Listing certificate determines for ARK investments. CB approved for Invesco. Nothing. It's crazy.
Okay, so 𝗙𝗢𝗙 says ETF not approved. Only listing on CBE is approved. COBE is approved. Okay. Okay, cool. But back to business. There was a question in the chat, guys. Drop us some of your charts. We got a few minutes. Let's do some of your charts. One of the questions was buy areas on Injective. So here's the weekly chart. We were actually looking at this Injective earlier in our Sniper Club private Zoom that we were doing for the members. And yeah, I mean, a vertical Injective chart, all-time highs, as you can see, is 45, that sort of region. And all I can give you now is potential flush out areas that you want to look out for. So what I would say for Injective, your main zone here is 28 to 29. That is your main hot zone. That's a 382 and a 50-day MA. And then you can play around with things like 33, that sort of area, which is the weekly low that we're looking at. So these are support areas I'd watch for any flush outs here. 33.4, call it, and then lower down again. This is weekly perspective, guys. 28 to 29. That's an area that looks interesting. PJ Fox says big growth, big dump. Look, it's been vertical, so at some point they need to let it chill for a little bit. Do you guys remember? It wasn't too long ago in this region over here. We actually attempted a couple of trades. They were anticipating this move, and it just never happened. They chilled there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. They killed us with Injective, and yeah, they could do that again before the next move. Okay, let's go CRV because there were questions on that. Yeah, I mean, this has got to be one of the worst performers of the last 6 months. It has to be.
Horrible.
Yeah, no, terrible things happening there. There was FUD, there was all sorts of things. But I mean, you guys keep asking me about the CRV. So what we can do, let's just look. Okay, this is weekly. This is your weekly trend. What you can see is weekly support. And we don't even have to draw too many pictures here for you to get idea as to what's going on here. Your weekly support area, and again, something like this, maybe you want to play spot if you're speculating that CRV will get a new life. I mean, again, fundamentally, what do we know about CRV? Have they sorted out their problems?
Apparently so. I'm just looking at it now on a longer term. Funnily enough, it is coming in to retest a trend line I drew about 4 months ago, so there might still be a trade here.
Yeah, so again, what I would suggest, CRV guys, massive support down here at 43 down to 40. Okay, massive support. If this market turns bullish and fundamentally CRV is still functioning, people are going to wake up to it, no doubt. And a rising tide does eventually lift all boats. So yeah, let's see. 72 is your first sort of target that you're looking at. So even if you want to play this short game, let's assume we get that little pullback. You still got a 60% move, and it hasn't even sniffed anything. I mean, okay, so not saying it's going to go back up there, but if you look at some of the other DeFi players out there that we've been looking at, like Trader Joe and all those guys, big movers, and they've pinged their big weekly zones. So maybe just time for a little bit of patience. But I can't see why curve, when things are moving, won't go up to about 1.5 when things are bullish again. So I don't see why that wouldn't happen unless there's something heavily wrong with it here. Okay, let's see.
I think those problems were resolved. Do you want to just see what I'm seeing really quick for curve?
Yeah.
Just let me know when I'm up.
Oh, yeah, I'm up.
Okay. So look, I drew this months ago, mate. Let me just turn these off real quick. Very simply, it doesn't get a lot more simple than that. If it comes in for a retest, 38, 39, there are order blocks down there as well. You've got an order block just below here, which we've wicked into a couple of times, but it's a bearish order block. So we could come down and it would line up perfectly. Whether it does or not, that's a hell of a move, but it's possible that it could do that before going.
Yeah, that's perfect. And that's major weekly support down there.
Yeah. I drew this back. Well, this is from February. So it's a long trade. Last February.
Long trade.
Yeah, long.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at NEAR. There's a request for NEAR. They've been selling NEAR. NEAR's been selling out, but drifting into a nice zone. Let's just see if we can get some Fibonacci here. You can see we've got a nice horizontal it's pushing into that 2.8 region. That's the 50-day MA, and we're sitting on a 618. And you're probably going to find that on a lot of these tokens. We're starting to hit some interesting fib areas here. So what I would say here for NEAR, best support that I can see on this chart is your horizontal and 50-day MA, 2.8. That is your best region. And your next area you're looking at is 3. That's your next potential guy. And then, maybe there's some Lux Algo action there if you want to have a quick look at NEAR for us there, Simon.
Sure, hold on. I've got stacks for you if you want afterwards as well. If you want to do that today. NEAR, here we go. Hold on. What time frame are you on?
That was the daily. It looks like it's moving into a nice little area there.
Let's have a look. 4 hour. Let me just look at the oscillators real quick. So the daily. Oh yeah, look at that. You've obviously done a fib retracement, I would have thought, from there. So we are.
Oh, sorry, I got the wrong chart here. Hold on. Sorry.
I'm on the NEAR daily. Is that what? Have you brought me up?
Yeah. There you are.
Cool. Okay, so just drawing a fib. God, I hate this background. I'll sort that afterwards. Just drawing a fib. Obviously, we're down at the 618 right now. Just get rid of that real quick. So looking at this, if I just dial in a little bit to the 8 hour. Sorry, guys, I've not prepared anything for this. Just give me a sec. 4 hour.
Yeah, I just want to see. We're drifting into a nice horizontal support. So I just want to see, have we printed an X on Lux? No. Is it looking for a reversal yet? I just want to get that picture.
Okay, so daily says short still in play. It hasn't really moved yet. The momentum wave's kind of bottoming out. There's still a way to go. It looks on the daily like there's further to go. But if I just drop into the 4 hour real quick, we have got 19. Hold on. There we go. Right, so let's see what the indicator's saying. So there was a short in play. The short has played out. There's been a TP. Just going back to previous shorts, there were no TPs on that. So the chance of a second one is probably quite low. On top of that, you've got green spots poking up everywhere. You've kind of gone from one reversal zone, the red cloud, all the way down to the green one. You've pinged it. And now what's probable is that you'll get some sort of move back up. So judging by this and the price action here, I'd say I never trade NEAR. I absolutely hate this token. I always lose. So, this is not a strong one for me, but it does look like the short is becoming exhausted.
Okay, and then one more here. So stacks. Okay, here's stacks. Here's my stacks chart. And the reason I was reluctant to bring a stacks chart to the game is because if the BTC narrative trade is now done, does that mean fundamentally we stop looking at BRC20s, we stop looking at stacks, we stop looking at MUBI, those type of things? Or do we just play what's in front of us? So that was the question I was asking myself. And here's my stacks chart, and I want to see what you have to say on your Lux as well. But stacks is moving into an area I identified early on Sniper Club. I dropped it in there, and it's a 618. It's a rising trend as well. But the question I'm asking now is, if the BTC trade is over and we're looking at another narrative, should we be focusing on stacks? So that's my question. Hopefully you can help me answer that. Let me pull up your screen here.
The honest answer to that is there's 20,000 tokens to choose from. I drew the same fib and we're on the 618 right now. Let me just get rid of that. So that's gone. So looking at this, obviously we have had a nice long, we had a good move, we had a short, we've had a TP on the short, we've hit the order block, we've come down further. Now, looking at the momentum waves and the oscillators, in fact, let me just zoom in on this one real quick. So the cash flow is still negative. That's not the end of the world, but looking at these oscillators, they've both made a turn. So this is cipher B, obviously. When it drops down below the 60 line, it's normally a stronger indication of a reversal. I'd say based on this and based on the RSI on Lux Algo, we should be due this short to come to an end quite soon. Whether we get a push here remains to be seen, and get the second X and a long signal here. It might play out that way. We might not enter this though. We might just get a long and then we might start to go green. But looking at the colors of these candles, it looks likely that we could tap into this again, Dill, before making our move.
Okay, so for me, if we lose that area, we're potentially turning a little bit bearish on stacks. So right now, I mean, look, what's in front of us is a 618 trend and horizontal play. Okay, so generally that's a potential long right now in this area. If we are being picky about narratives and things like that, look, I think if the whole market moves up, stacks is moving up regardless. But I think if there's less action on BTC, I think they're going to look elsewhere or potentially other alts. But those of you that are trading stacks, look, 618 horizontal trend. This is a box we highlighted. We finally hit it. So potential long in this area right now for you for stacks. And Simon's picture that he was talking about, that order block, if we dip lower, we're going to ping this order block. What we know is we get that reaction. We know that. Okay, so we're going to get a bounce, but then things potentially turning a little bit bearish for stacks, because we're going to have trend resistance, we're going to have fib resistance as well, and some horizontal. So there's a big it's a difference for me. If we lose this trend, then suddenly stacks potentially now in a downtrend. So that is what we're playing. So can we confirm that this ETF has now been approved or disapproved? What's the story?
Let's have a look at the latest on Twitter. It says here, Justin, Alt21. So Alt21, Invesco, VanEck, Fidelity, and Franklin Bitcoin ETFs receive CBOE approval. So I'm guessing they've got CBOE approval. We've got the letters here on the screen. I'm guessing that for these 5, there is still one more step. This is just the approval. They now need to action it from the looks of it. There was somebody in the chat that seems to know more than I do about it. So
Rick is saying they still need to approve. Okay, Simon, thanks. Appreciate that as always. Okay. Guys, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where we are today. So we're waiting for the SEC, we're waiting for the official announcement as to what the hell they're going to do, whatever their plan is. Right now, again, nobody knows. Are we going to pump? Are we going to dump? We don't know. What we can do is we can cater for areas that we like, and I would suggest looking for strength. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about these ETH tokens today, because they're showing strength. So if we do get some kind of pullback, and the new narrative is going to be ETH trade, where do you want to be? You want to be in tokens that are potentially going to bounce harder or bounce better, and bounce in areas that we've identified. So what you've got now from me today, I've given you a lot of these tokens. I've given you a lot of potential trade setups on these areas, especially if we get these pullbacks into these nice juicy zones. But remember, there is still a chance they don't approve this ETF and they send us straight to hell. So don't forget that should be an option in your trading plan. So again, be careful. Let's wait for this news to come out. Again, don't be too aggressive. So take some positions, do what you need to do, trade the charts, trade what's in front of you, but understand that there could be volatility later. There could be a lot of action, and depending how this news plays out, I mean, they could send us to hell or we could end up pumping. So again, guys, be safe. Tomorrow, new opportunities again. We'll be looking at what are we looking at tomorrow? We're looking at breakouts. We're going to be looking at bleed outs, whatever. But I'll be here tomorrow, same time, and we'll do this all over again. So we'll catch you then.